Hari Om, Jai Shri Radhe Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter number 5, Shloka number 17. Tad-buddhayas tad-ātmānas, tan-niṣhṭhās tat-parāyaṇāḥ, gachchhantyapunar-āvṛittiṁ, jñāna-nirdhūta-kalmaṣhāḥ. Supreme Lord Shri Krishna says, those who have their intellect absorbed in that, whose minds are soaked with that, who are steadfast in the pursuit of that, whose consummation is that their impurities, cleansed by knowledge, do attain to the never-return liberation. It is a psychological truth that man becomes that which he contemplates. By ignorance, man is contemplating samsara, and so he is bound by it by the effect of his own absorption in it. In this shloka, Sri Krishna illustrates the personality of the seeker whose aspiration for the eternal essence is so intense that his entire personality resonates with that thirst for the eternal essence. 4 conditions are clearly enumerated here as the most conducive adjustments within us when we become tuned up to the higher consciousness. Those whose intellect, tad-buddhaya, is absorbed in that. Serious spiritual life begins with intelligence. When we study, we contemplate, we understand to become intelligent. Actually, to learn to doubt the promises of the pleasures this world presents us, we need intelligence. Through study and sincere discussions with the learned, we come to appreciate intellectually the glorious theory of spiritual life and gain a vivid concept of the goal to be attained. Your all-out participation in your studies is necessary in order to gather such a clarity of understanding of the profound vision of spiritual life. Is it not true that the man engaged in worldly pursuits attains success by the concentration of all his energies on that object which he desires to acquire? Most people spend their whole life and energy acquiring lands, houses, positions, name and fame. They come to possess these things by the very force of their efforts, and yet they live in a state of fear and suffer terrible torture of the mind. If their sadhana is made in the opposite direction, if their mind is soaked with that tad-ātmānas, that is, the mind contemplates the supreme reality, the freedom of the self, and if this is done constantly, till the whole personality is filled with that, soaked with that, then the Atma becomes manifest as the reality in man. Next comes the third stage indicated here by those who are steadfast in their pursuit of that, tan-niṣhṭhās, which represents the period of practice. He has already been convinced of his ideal the more he lives, what he knows to be true, and what he is devoted to, the more he experiences in them ampler joy, greater satisfaction, a fuller sense of fulfillment. This is like a true musician who breathes, eats, sleeps, walks, and talks music. There is nothing in his life but music. Here Sri Krishna says, not only fix your intellectual faculty, not only fix your emotional faculty, but also fix out niṣhṭhā, faith, to win over the tremendous charm of the true way of life. Thus comes the fourth and last stage, tat-parāyaṇāḥ, whose consummation is that hereafter such a man finds it impossible to go back to his old ways of life. He lives the life of his deeper convictions, his nobler values, the higher ways of cultured living. He becomes now committed to the ideals he has first intellectually appreciated, ideals to which he then mentally grew devoted to, and the ideals which he tried to practice in life with faith. He no longer compromises now. Just as a river flows down, gushing over the obstacles, swirling along mountains, yet ever lashing and roaring down its own march to the sea, so too a man of character at this stage can no longer be halted along his irresistible march in step with his own convictions. Now, the result of this march is mentioned in the second line of this shloka. Such persons who have accomplished these four disciplines in themselves really move into a greater life of permanent glory, to a state of beauty and perfection, which is a point of no return when their old vasanas and the consequent attitudes, sins, get cleansed by knowledge. Once the old vasanas are blistered in the fire of knowledge, they shall no more rise up to shackle our personalities. The experience beyond the vasanas is a permanent state of higher evolution. Birthlessness, apunar-āvṛittiṁ, is the state of final emancipation. Atma-jñāna is the greatest acquisition for a human being because by it he transcends all the fears and sorrows of life, lives in restful peace, bliss and blessedness. Hari Om. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna.